what's the problem?
One of the keys on the harmonium was like sticking.
Oh, it does that. That one does that.
Oh, it's actually a different one.
Yeah.
Two dogs.
Two dogs on the time. Two dogs.
Well,
Yeah.
two dogs on the time. Two dogs.
Two guards.
Two
Maybe
guards.
this one,
Oh,
too.
two guards.
Is it really like?
Is it
See,
like
if you can play that. Service.
There's nothing against
Oh, no.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't like that before.
No.
It's not too bad. I mean,
We did a lot
See if you
of
can walk around it.
cleaning and rearranging yesterday. And there's still some to be done. She said she was a little exhausted, so she's gonna do some more of that maybe.
Yeah.
Messed up.
Alright. Alright. I'm gonna put it here because there's nothing happening there.
Wow, that's weird. It wasn't that bad.
Don't let them see our troubles.
Yesterday was perfect. Today it's acting up.
Should I fix this one?
Not hearing it, were we?
I
Anyway,
don't know if that helps.
what was the name of that word? Yeah, so I thought you said G-Dog.
You could use the other one. I mean,
This,
Oh, yeah.
the G-Dog.
those weren't the
That's
problem
all you also said.
yesterday. None of those things weren't good. If the keys do get stuck, but that's just all of a sudden it wasn't like that yesterday.
What wasn't gonna do it?
See that? The other one plays. The other one doesn't do that, but it's just not as pronounced. It doesn't resonate as full and loud.
Yeah, that's, so he's gonna give me the number
I can play it in a different octave. I can play it a little higher
How
or
long will
lower.
it take the men to get to this?
Yeah, that's two octaves. It's better, right?
It's three of them now.
Hey, that's what's normally actually on
Oh,
two
okay, I'm
octaves.
sorry. Yeah.
But even
I
and it still doesn't make
yeah.
sense.
Film
Because
this
even if you
for
have it on single, you shouldn't be doing that. Really bad.
I guess if that works,
But it's
it's
better.
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm gonna post this on the group, right?
No, thank you.
It's gonna sound even better now.
Just
Yeah,
do that.
because you got more harmony going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some keys.
How many
One,
did it
but this is full.
Yeah, we're cool.
Sounds normal.
Okay. Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much, Dina Bandhu, for that beautiful kirtan and all of our chanters. Thank you. Welcome to our Sunday Bhagavat Sravana program. It's so wonderful to have you here at Bhakti Center. Is anybody here new? We have one new person. Yes, Raj's friend. What's your name? Annabelle. Thank you so much for coming. Where are you joining us from? Wonderful, all the way across the country. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so for Annabelle and for anyone who's not sure and doesn't remember the layout of the day, we just had a little kirtan. We're then going to have a class on philosophy. Then we'll have a little more kirtan and we'll do an arti ceremony for the deities. And then we'll have prasadam in the back, which is just a vegan lunch. And we'd love for everyone to stay throughout the program. So, excited to introduce our speaker today, Dina Bandhu Prabhu, our very own, for his class on the glories of Lord Chaitanya. Dina Bandhu began exploring bhakti as a teenager after discovering kirtan through a recording. Currently, he works as a hospital chaplain, offering spiritual support to people of all different faiths and backgrounds. He regularly facilitates workshops and groups about the teachings and practices of bhakti, approaches to spiritual care, and the intersection of creativity and spirituality. He also serves as a member of the Bhakti Center's community care team. And lest I make up Seva for you, I think you're also a chaplain for Bhakti Center.
Yes.
Yes. Incredible. I was like, if you weren't before, you are now. But yes, he's an incredible devotee, incredible father, husband, friend, and we're so grateful to have him here today. So I'll turn it over to Dina Bandhu Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you all so very much for the opportunity to share today. Thank you all so much for the opportunity to share and to be in your Sangha today. Thank you very much to Bhagavat Prabhu and for reaching out and making this opportunity open for us today. And we'll be speaking, Bhagavat Prabhu very kindly raised the topic of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Sri Gaurachandra. So we will attempt in some way to begin to share some of the glories of Lord Chaitanya. Of course, they're innumerable and endless, and any understanding that we may develop of the glories of Lord Chaitanya, you know, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Like Krishna says, all of these glorious and beautiful things are just a spark of my splendor. So it's just the very beginning. But as Gaur Purnima is approaching, it's nice to get into that space, that meditation that we can lead up, for the next 2 weeks or so, really lead up to this auspicious, beautiful day, which is very, very significant to us as practitioners of Krishna Bhakti and aspiring devotees. So very important. So we'll just sing Jai Radha Madhava. Is this the normal thing? Okay.
If you want to.
Yes. Okay, we'll sing. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chanavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Chanavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Chanavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Chanavallabha Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So we will read a couple of verses from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita today, which is of course the wonderful spiritual biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, compiled by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And we will start. Okay. So particularly emphasizing the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there are a few wonderful verses that really encapsulate the extent, the depth and breadth of the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there are a few that we can look at today, but we'll start by looking at Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila. It's chapter 8, text number 15. If you like to, Prabhu, sure. Thank you so much. Okay. So I'll just chant this, the Bengali text. Shri Krishna, well actually we'll do an invocation first. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Okay, so I have this verse up. Thank you so much, Janitai Prabhu. So, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Karaha Vichara. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Karaha Vichara. Vichara Karite Chitte Pabe Chamatkara. Vichara Karite Chitte Pabe Chamatkara. Wonderful. Thank you all so much. We'll go word for word translation here. Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Daya. His mercy. Karaha. Just put into. Vichara. Consideration. Vichara. When such consideration. Karile. Will be done by you. Chitte. In your heart. Pabe. You will get. Chamatkara. Striking wonder. Okay, so we'll read the translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. If you are indeed interested in logic and argument, kindly apply it to the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you do so, you will find it to be strikingly wonderful. Okay, so we'll read the purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments in this connection that people in general, in their narrow-minded conception of life, create many different types of humanitarian activities, but the humanitarian activities inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are different. For logicians who want to accept only that which is proven through logic and argument, it is a fact that without logic and reason, there can be no question of accepting the absolute truth. Unfortunately, when such logicians take to this path without the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they remain on the platform of logic and argument and do not advance in spiritual life. However, if one is intelligent enough to apply his arguments and logic to the subtle understanding of the fundamental spiritual substance, he will be able to know that a poor fund of knowledge established on the basis of material logic cannot help one understand the absolute truth, which is beyond the reach of imperfect senses. The Mahabharata therefore says, Achintyaha kalu ye bhava natam starkena yojayet. How can that which is beyond the imagination or sensory speculation of mundane creatures be approached simply by logic? Logic and argument are very poor in spiritual strength and always imperfect when applied to spiritual understanding. By putting forward mundane logic, one frequently comes to the wrong conclusion regarding the absolute truth. And as a result of such a conclusion, one may fall down to accept a body like that of a jackal. Hare Krishna. Despite all this, those who are actually inquisitive to understand the philosophy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through logic and argument are welcome. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami addresses them. Please put Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy to your crucial test, and if you are actually a logician, you will come to the right conclusion, that there is no personality more merciful than Lord Chaitanya. Let the logicians compare all the results of other humanitarian work with the merciful activities of Lord Chaitanya. If their judgment is impartial, they will understand that no other humanitarian activities can surpass those of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everyone is engaged in humanitarian activities on the basis of the body, but from the Bhagavad Gita 2:18 we understand antavanta ime deha nitya shoktaha sharirinaha. The material body is ultimately subject to destruction, whereas the spiritual soul is eternal. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philanthropic activities are performed in connection with the eternal soul. However one tries to benefit the body, it will be destroyed, and one will have to accept another body according to his present activities. If one does not, therefore, understand the science of transmigration, but considers the body to be all in all, his intelligence is not very advanced. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, without neglecting the necessities of the body, imparted spiritual advancement to purify the existential condition of humanity. Therefore, if a logician makes his judgment impartially, he will surely find that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Mahavadanyāvatara, the most magnanimous incarnation. He is even more magnanimous than Lord Krishna himself. Lord Krishna demanded that one surrender unto him, but he did not distribute love of Godhead as magnanimously as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami offers Lord Chaitanya his respectful obeisances with the words Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tvishe Namaha. Lord Krishna simply gave the Bhagavad Gita, by which one can understand Lord Krishna as he is. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is also Krishna himself, gave people love of Krishna without discrimination. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminite Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine. Hare Krishna. So before we begin our discussion, just really would like to seek everyone's blessings and well wishes, please, that we can have a meaningful, uplifting, pleasing conversation that's ultimately pleasing to the Lord and His devotees, that we can all find something that we can grab onto and take with us for our continued inspiration in our spiritual lives. Hare Krishna. So, we are approaching Sri Gaura Purnima. That's going to be March 13th. 13th is a Thursday coming up. So very near. And as we approach Sri Gaura Purnima, of course this is the appearance day of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And ideally an appearance day is not only a formal observance. It's nice, definitely nice and glorious to observe in a formal way. But also the appearance day, also there's another kind of appearance that can take place, which is sort of the appearance of that personality within our heart in a deeper way. That we're kind of trying to always carry these incredible, merciful divine personalities. Shri Radha Murlidhar, Shri Gaurachandra, Srila Prabhupada, carry these personalities within our hearts. Yet on these appearance days we have some opportunity to more deeply appeal to them, that they may appear in our hearts in an unforgettable way, in a way that actually we won't be able to shake through any amount of distraction, any amount of forgetfulness. Krishna himself is the source of remembrance and forgetfulness. So we pray on these special appearance days that we may move toward remembrance and move away from forgetfulness, though they may fluctuate at different times and circumstances. But there can be more remembrance, less forgetfulness. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he says to always accept that which is favorable to our Krishna consciousness and to reject which is unfavorable. So ultimately all of the different rules and regulations, all of the different details that we may see in terms of the practice of bhakti, ultimately those are all subservient to this higher principle, that we want to try to remember Krishna more and more, remember our true nature more and more, and not be in so much forgetfulness. So as we're approaching Sri Gaura Purnima, this very merciful, special appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we're trying in our own way to remember him, to remember his mercy, to remember who he is to us, who he is for us, who we want to be to him and for him. So we are remembering his wonderful, merciful qualities. As Srila Prabhupada was saying in this purport, and this is a very striking point, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayi shamima suchaha. He says, abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I will free you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So how merciful Krishna is when he states this. All we have to do is just surrender unto him. He will carry us. It says in a different verse, 9:22, Ananyas chintayanto mam. He'll preserve what we have and carry what we lack. So Krishna is so merciful in this way. But as Srila Prabhupada himself is saying in this purport, Krishna does require surrender. He's looking for surrender. He's saying, surrender unto me, and then everything is taken care of. So what about those of us who read that verse and feel encouraged for a moment and then feel, but I can't surrender. I can't. I'm just not there. So what about those of us who have that honest introspection within ourselves and feel that we're not in that space yet? We want to be there, right? Sometimes they say you should want to surrender, and if you don't want to surrender, you can want to surrender. And it can go forever like that. So there's so much mercy for us. But Krishna is expecting surrender. He's requesting surrender from us. So he's merciful. But for those of us who feel that we don't possess that affinity towards surrender, that we're too attached, that we're too stuck in our ways, that we're too much keeping ourselves in the center. So many possibilities there. This life is hard in Kali Yuga, in the material world, perhaps in New York City, right? It's challenging. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful that he doesn't even expect surrender. He doesn't ask for surrender. He comes to us and actually begs us to chant the holy names of the Lord and to be happy and to connect in this way. There are so many beautiful examples. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he understands the nature of Kali Yuga. He knows what Kali Yuga is all about. Krishna appeared in Dwapara Yuga, a different age. So actually the quality and caliber of people was also different. Of course, everyone needs the Lord's help. Everyone needs the Lord's mercy. But Kali Yuga is a particularly unique predicament that we find ourselves in. There's so much quarrel, hypocrisy, so much distraction, so much opportunity to forget who we really are, to forget the Lord's love and mercy in our life. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understands this fully. And in this mood of daya, in this mood of mercy and compassion, he's making it so easy for us that he's actually coming to us and begging that we may chant the holy names of the Lord. So there are so many examples of this. Of course, most celebrated example is that of Jagai and Madai. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can read about this, that Jagai and Madai were extremely sinful, fallen personalities. And sometimes when we remember this pastime, we almost think of Jagai and Madai as like a little bit cute, kind of like bad guys in kind of a cute way, but actually they were not cute. They were not cute. They were really criminals. They were really wreaking havoc in the local community. So it's important to remember this, because the more we can remember this, not to in any way blaspheme Jagai and Madai, who ultimately, as we know, spoiler alert, are great devotees who we worship. But to remember just how fallen their condition was and how threatening they were to the people in their community. This just emphasizes that much more the profound mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, that ultimately that they were able to save Jagai and Madai, who were very, very fallen, problematic individuals in their society, and they became pure devotees. They were touched on the level of the heart. So this is something that we can remember, and we can also see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he does, as he's Krishna himself, Krishna says that he descends in order to annihilate the miscreants, right, and to uplift the devotees. But in Kali Yuga, he annihilates in a different way. He was almost going to actually kill Madai when he threw the clay pot at Nityananda Prabhu's head. He had the Sudarshan Chakra, and Lord Nityananda, who's of course the merciful expansion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, none other than Balaram himself, he reminded him, no, this is not what we're doing in this age, my lord. This is not the mood for Kali Yuga. We are killing demons, but we're not killing them in this way. We're killing their demonic mentality, killing the anarthas within the heart that prevent us from actually realizing our true nature, which is that of Satchit Ananda, which is eternity, knowledge, and bliss, and ultimately of love of the Lord. We all have within us the capacity to love the Lord, that prema, that highest love of God, which of course is what Lord Chaitanya himself, unlike any other personality, any other incarnation before him, he came to distribute freely this love of God, Krishna prema. So not only piety, not only obedience or dutiful kind of religion, he came to actually give the highest love of God, which is exemplified in Krishna Lila by the gopis and Srimati Radharani. So he came to give this selfless, pure, immense, practically inconceivable love of Krishna. So he's giving that highest love and giving it very freely. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gives it without any consideration. And the weapons that they use, as going back to that analogy, the weapons that they use to kill our demoniac mentality and bring us into the highest love, the weapons are Nam, the holy name, the kartals, the mridangas, like that. These are the weapons. So in previous age, Krishna has gada and chakra, but in this age, he is so mercifully giving this highest love, without any consideration for qualification also. So it may be that in previous ages, the processes for self-realization were very demanding. Satya Yuga, seated meditation. And, as those of us who may try to do that kind of a practice, it's very difficult, right? Your leg starts to hurt, start thinking about something. And also step one in this kind of process is to find a secluded place, to go to a secluded place. So those are few and far between in this age. We can look certainly in New York. What do they call those pocket parks? You can find like a little place to like tuck in, but you're going to still hear the car horns. You're still going to hear everything and feel the rajasic, the passionate energy of the city. So that process is really hard. Treta Yuga was elaborate fire sacrifice ritual like that, and that requires so many supplies. We see like when there's an initiation ceremony, when there's a wedding here, it's very elaborate, and even that is like scaled back from Treta Yuga, right? And in Treta Yuga, the attitude was if you pronounce one syllable wrong, the whole thing is finished, wasted. We're so grateful that on this path of bhakti, even when we try to do these elaborate rituals, it's bhakti that's actually the main ingredient of the ritual. So that's there. And then in Dwapara Yuga, the emphasis was on deity worship. And of course, we still, of course, accept the wonderful mercy of Krishna appearing in this Archa Vigraha, this deity form. We're here in this material world. We have material senses. We have to engage in a tangible way. It helps us so much in terms of developing our relationship and making offerings in a way that's tangible. So Krishna mercifully appears in this way. So we still do observe this process. But again, we can acknowledge also that sometimes it's quite elaborate. Sometimes there are many rules and regulations about deity worship. It requires cleanliness. It requires punctuality. Things like this. So in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives this process of Harinam Sankirtan as the Yuga Dharma, as the practice, the process for this age by which one can attain the highest love. It's a bit paradoxical, isn't it? Right? We think by material standards that the easiest thing will somehow be diluted. If it's easy, you're not going to get the greatest result. Perhaps if you do something harder, then something great will happen. But actually, in this age, again, this Namo Mahavadanyaya, the most munificent personality, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he brings a process that is both the best, the highest, and the easiest. So this is what we need in Kali Yuga. We need that so much. So there's no consideration for caste, for cleanliness, for background, for what we're going through in our own life at that moment. The holy name is approachable, and as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself says in Sri Shikshastakam, the 8 verses that he gives, he says that all of Krishna's energies, Sarva Shakti, all of his energies are invested in the holy names. So we approach the holy name, we're approaching Krishna himself. So there's no consideration of qualification like these other processes. The holy name is always there, and Prabhupada says many times there are no hard and fast rules. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's truly this Mahavadanyaya, the most munificent avatar. And Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj, he says that in order to truly be known as Mahavadanyaya, as the most munificent, he has to be giving the highest goal, the highest thing, to the lowest persons. So that's something that we see so beautifully exemplified in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we're also, in our own way, it wasn't so long ago. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was here about 500 years ago. It was not very long at all. In terms of the grand scheme of things, if we look at the timeline, it was yesterday. It was like just yesterday that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally here engaging in these pastimes. We're so fortunate to appear in this time, so close to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so close to Srila Prabhupada. And so in this way, it's explained many times that the kirtan that goes on today, the kirtan that's going on every day of the week practically in Union Square and the wonderful Harinam devotees in New York, this is also Gaura Lila. This is also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. It's a very close extension of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving. So still it's happening. The highest thing is being freely given to anyone and everyone, whether they're looking for it or not. And that's a strong reminder that on this path, we're really engaging in what's called a descending process. So the mercy is coming down. It's not this ascending process. There are other processes, right? Jnana Yoga, Dhyan, different kinds of meditative processes, different knowledge-based, sort of paths. That it's really an ascending process. It's kind of by the hard work, the elbow grease, the sweat of our brow that we're trying to make progress towards spiritual realization. And that's very frightening in a way, right? To think that it's all depending on our own gifts, our own determination, our own strength. So in Kali Yuga and all of the bhakti traditions, it's emphasized that this is the descending process, that actually we're just trying to show up to receive a drop of the mercy that's always flowing. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always giving. He's always in the mood of giving. So whatever's being given, we're just trying to show up in some way and try to receive it. We're very much in the mood of receiving, and we understand that it's not by our own power that we're going to make any kind of spiritual progress. It's actually just by showing up. Sometimes that's the only thing we can take credit for. Okay, I went to where the mercy was flowing, And and not always, right? Not always even like that. Sometimes the mercy is just coming to us. Again, in the case of Harinam Sankirtan, in the case of the way devotees go out into the world, right? And even so many initiatives, in this day and age with technology and things like that, devotees are striving very hard to make it available, that we practically don't even have to do anything in order to receive this kind of mercy. So he gives this sublime Yuga Dharma. And by doing so, he makes Kali Yuga, this age of Kali Yuga, which is so fraught. I mean, we can see more and more increasingly in this world, there's such division, there's such oppositional attitude, there's everything is controversy. Everyone wants to tap into controversy, and they do it for entertainment, actually. There's not even so much compassion. There's not even so much oh, it's terrible that this is happening. It's kind of all right, let's see what's going on. And it's people are getting some kind of juice out of this, because we're looking very much, all of us, for rasa. We're looking for some kind of deep feeling, deep connection. So sometimes it's just entertainment. Sometimes it's just feeling some very distant compassion. There may be some compassion there, but it's very removed. So we're all looking for some kind of connection. But in this age, it's become very degraded, where we're finding that, how we're finding that. And it influences the course of society in so many ways. So Kali Yuga itself is so fraught, but we'll share one verse here, which is very nice. This is coming from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is Madhya Lila, chapter 20, text 347. Jai Shri Shivada Muralidhar, Shri Gaurachandra Ki Jai. We have that? Okay, thank you so much. And just to be clear, we go until 12:30, is that right? We go until 12? Okay. And leave space for, discussion, Kalim sabhajayantyarya gunagya sharabhaginaha yatra sankirtane naiva Sarva svarto bilabhyate. So this says, those who are advanced and highly qualified and are interested in the essence of life know the good qualities of Kali Yuga. Such people worship the age of Kali, because in this age one can advance in spiritual knowledge and attain life's goal simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Right? So we can see through the process that's been given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Kali Yuga is actually, in that perspective, worshipable. Because in another age, we would need to do so much more. And in this age, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understands our fallen condition. He understands what we're going through. And he's making this process. And Srila Prabhupada, the devotees who carry Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, are making it possible for us. So in that sense, Kali Yuga is very worshipable, because we can easily, so much more easily attain love of God. So Kali Yuga is worshipable. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, he appears in a very special way. There are external and internal reasons for his appearance. The external reason is to spread the holy name, to share this Harinam Sankirtan. An internal appearance is something very esoteric and something very profound. We'll just touch upon it very lightly, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears also because Krishna is trying to understand the joy and the bliss that his devotees experience. And in his previous appearance as Krishna, he's not quite able to tap into this reality. So he appears as a devotee, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in order to experience the special joy, the special ecstasy of feeling that type of devotional love for the Lord. So this is important to mention, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also knows what it's like to carry a yearning within the heart. Krishna is Atmaram. He's Atmaram, he's self-satisfied. And this is always true. This is also true of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he appears in such a way that he's carrying a profound yearning within himself. Yearning to have that love for Krishna. Of course, he himself is Krishna, but he appears in the mood and the complexion and the spirit of Srimati Radharani. So with this, we see wonderful exchanges, like the Ratha Yatra pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's in the Ratha Yatra, and he's reciprocating so profoundly in a mood of loving separation and union also with Lord Jagannath. And Lord Chaitanya is the highest expression of one's loving yearning for the Lord in that moment. He's dancing before the Lord. And Jagannath himself is also the ultimate example of the Lord receiving the love of his devotee and feeling the love of his devotee. So there's this incredible exchange that's going on. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understands also, we can say, although he's the Supreme Lord, he's beyond any faults or any insufficiencies. He also understands what it's like to have a yearning and to be a practitioner. He appears in this sadhaka form. He appears as a practitioner. So it's very special for us to see this wonderful example that's given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of always remembering Krishna and all that he's doing. In his later pastimes in Jagannath Puri, he's always remembering Krishna everywhere he looks. And there's a place in Puri called Chatak Parvat. It's a sand hill. You can still go see it in Jagannath Puri. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, he looked at it and he's thinking, this is Govardhan. This is the hill, Govardhan Hill, that Krishna himself lifted. So everywhere he looks, he can see nothing but Krishna. So Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj, he had such affection for Chaitanya Leela and for this Chaitanya Charitamrita. And one time he said, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Wow. So happy to see you and to see the new Vaishnava in our midst. Hare Krishna. But yes, so Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj, he said this often about Chaitanya Charitamrita. He said that Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, they show us who we are. So we can say, yes, on the deepest level, shows us who we are, our eternal identity. There's so much in Chaitanya Charitamrita in his pastimes, in the philosophical sections brought out by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, but also in terms of, we see loving exchanges between devotees. We see devotees serving together, associating together, trying to serve. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even Madhavananda Prabhu from Jagannath Puri, he gives a nice example also that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he goes to the temple. He goes to Jagannath temple. So like all of us, we have our life, we go to the temple, we associate with devotees there, we do service there. And then also, he goes to the temple, but he also has his room in Jagannath Puri, Gambhira, which is a very special, silent place where he would go just with his closest associates and speak very deep topics about Krishna. So for us too, we can also mirror this in our life. We come together in community, and that's very important, and we associate, we get inspired by each other, but also, we also may speak with devotees who we have closer relationships with and share very confidentially, dadati pratigrinati guyam akyati prichati bhunkte bojayate chaiva sadvidam priti lakshanam, sharing those hidden things within our hearts that are very real and very raw and open for us. To share like that with devotees is also very important. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is just one of many examples, how he's showing us also, in a way, how to practice in our path. Of course, we can't even begin to approach or imitate, but just by being in this form as someone who is also appearing as a devotee, we can become very encouraged and develop more attraction for the loving exchanges with devotees. And there are so many pastimes in Chaitanya Charitamrita that it's hard for us to understand. I'm speaking for myself, hard to understand on a mental level. And like Prabhupada is saying in the purport, actually the deepest spiritual truths, they can't really be fully accessed through logic and reason. Not that we throw our logic and reason out the window, that we should become, thoughtless or anything like that. But at the same time, the deepest spiritual truths are to be felt. They're to be felt on the level of the heart and to reach ultimately the jiva, to reach the soul. And so when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, sometimes it's a little inconceivable, this Leela, this appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but we can feel it. If you read and you spend time with it, you feel something in your heart. And that is just a little glimpse of the yearning that we have within. So, we may feel very fallen in this world. And there's one quotation in Rupa Goswami Padyavali. There's one poem in there that says, Lord, when I hear that your name is Bhakta Vatsal, which is like someone who is someone who's affectionate, that he's affectionate to his devotees, my heart trembles. I feel very discouraged because I'm not a devotee. So you love your devotees, but what can I do? Right? And then, but he says, but when I hear that your name is Dina Bandhu, your name is like the friend of the fallen, right? Your name is the friend of the fallen, then I feel very encouraged and excited. So like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful. He reaches for those who are really struggling in this world, and he gives them the highest love. So I think we can end here and really open to everyone's reflections and anything you'd like to share. Hare Krishna. Rajatoshini?
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Sorry, I was just wondering if I actually wanted to ask my question.
No pressure. We can read more verses about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah, if no one has to share, but please.
So you were talking about like our only duty is like putting ourselves in the flow of mercy and just waiting for it to fall. And there's that really famous Bhagavatam verse that I forget that's like just, you know, tolerate all the miseries and eventually just have confidence that like my mercy will come. And I was wondering what the relationship between like that and spiritual, like what is spiritual endeavor really, like if we're just sitting waiting for mercy, like what does it look like to have? Like if we can't do anything ourselves and nothing comes of our own accord, then like what is spiritual endeavor?
Yeah, thank you. Great, wonderful question. So yes, so spiritual endeavor is necessary. So yeah, it's interesting. There's kind of like a simultaneous acknowledgement that the mercy is flowing and that we're seeking to catch that. Yet at the same time, yeah, it's not just like, okay, I'm going to go sit on the couch and just wait for Krishna's mercy. You know, if he wanted to give in that way, he could. But at the same time, the Lord helps those who help themselves. We hear this said, and also that ultimately Krishna is very pleased and touched by our endeavors to serve him, to connect with him, to love him, and particularly to love and serve his devotees. He's more pleased by that than even our endeavor to serve him. So in that way, it's another like kind of folk saying, but that we take one step toward Krishna, Krishna will take 10 steps toward us. So still, we understand that the mercy is really coming from Krishna. Whatever we end up receiving in the way of mercy is through Krishna's sweet will. And it's causeless mercy. We hear this many times, causeless mercy. So what does that mean? It means that actually it's not by what we're doing, right? So it's this paradoxical thing. We do need to do something, because that's also a way of catching the mercy. When we show up, the devotees are very merciful to us. When we show up to serve, we're learning things. We're being given so many things. So it's a medium through which Krishna's mercy is flowing. Krishna gives his mercy through his devotee. Yasya prasadad Bhagavat prasadad, yasya prasadad nagati kutopi. So by the mercy of Krishna, we receive mercy of the guru, of the devotees, we can say in an extended way. Right? And by the mercy of the devotees, or by the mercy of Guru, we're receiving Krishna more and more. So our spiritual endeavor is necessary, but what we want to avoid is the notion that, yes, I'm doing so much. Because I'm doing so much, I'm making spiritual progress. Because I'm doing so much, the devotees really think highly of me, or something like that. We want to avoid these kinds of things because, of course, ego can grab onto anything. Spiritual life is a really good thing for the ego to grab onto. The ego quite likes it. There's a lot that the ego can work with, you know, with spiritual life. I'm wearing a flower garland and I'm sitting on this chair and whatever, you know. So the idea is that ultimately, yes, the spiritual endeavor is necessary, but also we need to remember that it's not by our own endeavor that the mercy is coming. We're just trying to show up for the flow of mercy that's happening according to the special loving mercy of Krishna and the devotees. Rupesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thanks for bringing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, thanks Sridhar Prabhu for bringing this Shraddha Bhagavatam class. So So I guess in the next verses after this in the Adi Leela, we spoke about Tarka Vitarka and the humanitarian activities which are done on the Sharira level or Diha level, which most people think of it like helping people in different ways. I mean, I guess there are food donations to all kinds of. But at the end it says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has imparted for the Atma, which is the Mahamantra. Does it mean that imparting Mahamantra is the highest form of service?
That's what's being described, yes. Ultimately, and we can follow up, don't worry, we can continue the dialogue here, because I see you're like thinking about it, but it's also, so basically the idea is that the highest welfare work is that which touches the soul. And the body is temporary, so you may even set someone up with a mansion, with a lifetime supply of foodstuffs, whatever it may be, and still at the end of this life, they won't be able to fully hold on to those things. You can't take it with you. So the idea is that there's nothing wrong with doing some welfare work and helping people on a physical level. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself didn't neglect this. He also had many wonderful festivals, or his associates had many wonderful festivals wherein many, many people were fed, things like that. No problem. But at the same time, the distribution of the Maha Mantra is actually addressing the deepest yearning of the soul for each person. So it may be that someone's well situated materially, yet they still feel totally unhappy, unfulfilled. And yes, of course, sometimes if someone's material needs are so unmet, it's hard for them to think about things on the level of the soul. We acknowledge that too. But at the same time, the highest actual offering that can be made is that which actually connects with someone on the level of the soul, helps them to understand more deeply who they are, helps them beyond the purview of this life, this immediate circumstance. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, please.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, there's a scene in the Mahabharata, I think it's towards the end, I think it's the last book, where Krishna says the Kauravas are liberated, whereas the Pandavas are not. So I just wanted to ask if that's connected. Like when you were talking about the story of those fallen criminals that were liberated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes.
What were their names again?
Jagai and Madai.
Yeah, I want to ask if that was connected to the story of Jagai and Magai in any way.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Your name?
Sham.
Sham. Thank you, Sham. So I'm not so familiar with the particular pastime that you're describing, but what we can say is that there's liberation, right? There's liberation, and then there's also bringing one into a devotional framework. So there's mukti, and then there's also something beyond that, which is one becoming actually bound to the Lord by love and by devotion. So yeah, it is connected in the sense that, of course, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, they had direct association of Krishna. They knew Krishna. They had associated with Krishna. So how can one not see Krishna as the all-attractive, right? Whoever beholds Krishna is attracted by him. So similarly, in this pastime with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Jagai and Madai, what happened is that Jagai and Madai became very attracted to the mercy, to the beauty of these two personalities. And their compassion is really what disarmed them. So they may have seen their attractiveness, their beauty, but what really disarmed them was the mercy. So what happens is that we can become liberated by receiving mercy from the Lord or from the Lord's devotee. So that's what happened in that case. And Lord Nityananda, the associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the expansion, he embraced Jagai and Madai, and they cried and they fell to the ground. So there's liberation in that also, right? They were liberated from their previous mindset. So I hope that that's helpful to illustrate in some way.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dina Bandhu, for being here. So nice to have you, and thank you for also opening us up to the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, reminding us that Guru Purnima is coming and how to prepare our consciousness to receive Lord Chaitanya and His mercy. I had quite a few questions, but just one of them was around this verse about logic and argument.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there was a point in the purport where Srila Prabhupada almost encouraged the abandonment of logic and argument.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering if you could, because of course we know that you kind of said it a little bit, but I was just wondering if you could comment on that, maybe the context of this understanding of logic and argument versus maybe being logical is
Yes.
okay.
Thank you for, important distinction. So there's a precedent and there's a context for this, that certainly in previous times there were religious scholars and there were logicians and there were people who really were picking things apart philosophically. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was engaged in this type of logical argument in his very youthful years. He was known as Nimai Pandit, and he would defeat people in logical arguments. So he himself, we can say also, on some level, gave up logical argument because he became connected to the Mahamantra, and he felt that this is his all in all. But logic and argument in this way means to really, really dissect things in a very challenging mood. So it doesn't mean that, as Jainitai Prabhu was saying, it's important that we don't want to abandon our logic, we don't want to abandon our reason. Krishna is actually very pleased when we apply our good sense and logic and intelligence, which obviously come from him, when we apply those things in order to authentically, earnestly try to understand these spiritual truths, actually hoping that they can really take root within our heart. And I think it's different for different devotees. Some devotees may feel very happy, just, okay, I feel this joy within my heart and I'm going to follow that. And other devotees feel, okay, I need to actually grapple with this a little bit. I need to figure it out. I need to ask questions. I need to read more deeply. And all of that's excellent because it's happening in the interest of coming closer to Krishna, coming closer to that truth. Not that we need on the path of bhakti to abandon logic and reason and just become like dancing, and wild or anything like that. It's just kind of that in this context, it means that even if you do, so if you aren't interested in logic and argument, if that's the kind of person you are, apply it to the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Prabhupada, he kind of encourages the abandonment of logic and argument because they can't touch spiritual truth fully. But then he even does say, we welcome you if you want to try, because even by the standard of material logic, you can also see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, again, giving the highest thing to the lowest persons, to people who are not even looking for it. They don't even want it, and he's giving it anyway in such a way that they developed their love. So even by a logical standard, we can see that this is something very, very significant and very wonderful. So does that answer the question? Beautiful. Thank you. And please feel free to share too.
Okay. Anyone else? Yeah, because we're kind of almost in time, but just wondering if there was one thing you could give us how you feel. What is the simplest way that we could, leading up to Guru Purnima, connect with Lord Chaitanya?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda are so special in this way that they're spiritually joyful. They're always blissful spiritually. And if you think about someone who's happy and you go to them and you ask for something, they're so inclined to give it because they're in such a happy mood. They're so joyful. Whereas if someone's in a very serious mood and you approach them, they may not give so liberally, right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they have this special quality. So what I would recommend is that maybe if you like to, you can try to just pray to Lord Chaitanya, leading up to Guru Purnima, and to be very, very honest. He already knows everything within our hearts, and he's so merciful and loving. So if we can just say, Lord Chaitanya, I don't feel so connected. I don't feel that I'm so enthusiastic in my spiritual life. So many things we can share. But as we're approaching your appearance day, please appear within my heart in a new way, and please send me devotees. Send devotees into my life who have you so strongly in their hearts and who have such love for you. Let me see their example, and let that leave an impression that I can't forget. Something that we really try to move forward. Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, he said this. Any festival, any program, kind of even the formal things we do in congregational setting, this should be an opportunity for transformation. We can actually pray that when I attend the Gaura Purnim festival this year, let me leave as a different person, as a changed person in a certain way. That, I'll never be quite the same again. It may be something subtle, but that I will have taken a step closer to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a step closer to Krishna. So that's something that we can pray about in the spirit of a devotee like Bhakti Tirtha Swami, who really gave such a great example of how all of the things that we do in Krishna consciousness are an extension of this mercy. If we can see them as such, if we can receive them as such. So we can pray in that way to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to Srila Prabhupada, that we can be deeply affected by the mercy that's flowing, and that we can perceive it and receive it, side by side. So, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Radha Murlidhar ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Bol, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Thank you so much, Dina Bandhu, for that beautiful class, so inspiring. Can we get one big Hari Bol if you're feeling inspired? 1, 2, 3. Hari Bol! Thank you so much. So now we're going to have an arti ceremony and some kirtan. So thank you for clearing the cushions, and we'll pull the chairs up as well. And then we will have prasadam in the back and some announcements. Thank you.
Shiva Hare Rama,
Prabhupada ki jai. BBT founder Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Namsikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Agini Govardhana ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Muna Mai ki jai. Tulsi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Radha Pratikar ki jai. Gaur Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Sankirtan Yagya ki jai. Forthcoming appearance day of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Or Pranay Mahamahotsav ki jai. Jai Gaura Premanand. Glorious to the assembled devotees. All glorious to the assembled devotees. All glorious to the assembled devotees. All glorious to the lotus feet of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glorious to Srila Prabhupada.
so much, everybody. We are now, oopsies, okay, double, let's choose which one. Hello. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending our Bhagavat Sravana program. Before we head to the back for Prasadam, we have just a few announcements and some very exciting things coming up at Bhakti Center. So the first is we have our upcoming Flower Festival happening next weekend. But in advance of that, we're having what we are calling Community Seva Days. This is just an opportunity to come together with fellow community members and devotees to perform some service in advance of the festival. So what this service will look like is, it's a flower festival. So we are actually going to take the petals off of flowers, which doesn't sound like it should take that long, but it's a lot of flowers. So we are going to be having these Community Seva Days where you can participate in this very beautiful meditative process of depetaling the flowers for their lordships. That is going to be this coming Thursday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., this coming Friday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., and then Saturday, day of, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So please don't miss this opportunity to serve. You can just kind of drop in and drop out, so no worries about signing up in advance. Great. So then after you finish your Community Seva Days, we will have the Flower Festival on Saturday, March 8th. That is going to start at 5:30 p.m. With kirtan. We'll have some talks. We'll have arti, some dance. We'll have the actual Pushpa Abhishek, the actual showering of the deities in the flowers that we all helped to pluck. And then we'll have prasadam as well. So wonderful, exciting opportunity. New at Bhakti Center over the last few years, and it's been better and better every year. And then lastly, what Dina Bandhu Prabhu was helping to prepare our hearts and minds for today with his class, we have Gora Purnima coming up on Thursday, March 13th. So not this Thursday, but next Thursday. We have a very special guest coming to speak at that program. His Holiness Jayabheta Swami will be there, Prabhupada disciple. We could all benefit immensely from having his association. So that will start at, it will start at 4 p.m. There will be activities going on from 4 p.m. on. All of this information and a lot more information is available on bhakticenter.org. Up to date, wonderful website. We have our temple WhatsApp group, and we have a temple newsletter. And we have tons of amazing communication, Bhava Bhakti on top of it all the time. If you are not a part of the temple WhatsApp group or the newsletter, please let Jain, Bhava Bhakti, or Jain Sai, they can do it out. Let one of them know, and they will get you hooked up there. So I think that's it. This is a community-run, donation-run program. So we'll have a donation bowl and some QR codes around if you feel so inspired to make an offering. That's wonderful and helps us to sustain the program. But in the back, prasadam, sanctified food, it's all vegan, and we're so happy that you came. Thank you again for taking time out to be here with us. Haribol.